Hello. Nice sunny day today, so might as well go for a bit of a drive. Okie dokie, let's go for it. Off we go. Have a chat about electric cars really. I'm in my Tesla Model 3 at the moment, and we'll get a little ride round going down towards Epsom. Just turn right here. Head towards the vaccination centre in Epsom. It's on Epsom Downs. That big building, that's the grandstand. That's where the vaccinations are taking place on Epsom Downs. It seems very quiet today, so I don't know what's going on there, but there's not a lot going on. Not much traffic. Usually the car park's pretty packed there, but it's quite quiet today. The old lockdown's been released a bit today. People are a bit freer to go about. I must say people have been very obedient, being locked in, let out, which is a good thing, because something must be done, and it's been over a year, and I think everyone's a bit sick of it. They're sick of being sick. It's it isn't much fun. This is turning into the new normal. I mean, I'm not much of a going out type person, so it hasn't affected me as much as it affects a lot of people. But I leased this car because I couldn't afford to buy one. Lease runs out in November, and it's only a 2-year lease. I did it all as cheap as possible because I wanted to have a Tesla. Well, I just wanted to have a Tesla and that's it, because I won't be having another one because I won't afford it. So 2 years up, that'd be it. Unless I win the lottery again. But so I haven't really got as much use out of it as I would have liked to because of all the lockdowns. I mean, you drive around a bit, or sort of drive around a bit through the whole of lockdown, but you can't go anywhere because nowhere to go because everywhere's closed. So well, that's the way it's gone. Let's see. Make it a bit bigger. I'll talk about electric cars, but yeah, just amazing. I mean, you're hearing what I'm hearing because the car's so quiet and smooth, and it's a lovely, bright, sunny day, and electric cars are the only way to go. A lot of people talk about electric cars, and I'm always on about range, because range is everything, because range makes a car cheaper to run. Because you charge at home. Charging at home is the cheapest. So if you do a lot of mileage, people say, well, I do a lot of mileage, so I can't have an electric car. Well, actually, if you do a lot of mileage, I'm talking not massive, say 10,000 miles a year, that's 12,000 miles a year, you could lease an electric car for free. A small one, a cheap one, because you'd save it in fuel. So I think it's the other way around. People say, I do a lot of mileage, I can't have an electric car. Well, I think it's the other way around. If you do a lot of mileage, hunt down a long range electric car as cheap as possible. And that, in this country, in the UK, is an MG. If you're going to buy it, it's definitely an MG, because an MG is tremendous value for money. Tremendous. You can get a MG ZX for 20,000. If you go on Auto Trader, you get a brand new one for 20,000. It's a lot of money, of course. It's a lot of money. I know people in the media talk about 20,000 like it's pennies, but of course to normal people like to you and me, 20,000 is a fortune. That's why I have to lease. But if you can afford it, because the cheapest way to go is to buy one, and you do quite a few miles, there's the MG ZX. It's got about 160 miles, so 150 mile range. And even better if you're just going to use it to drive it and do the distance. There's the MG5. and that has a range of 200 miles, and that you can get one of those for just about £20,000 on Auto Trader. Fantastic. Now, if you bought one on hire purchase or PCP or whatever it is, if you can afford cash, it's better, of course, because you don't pay any interest. But you spend all that money, and it's horrible. But week after week, especially doing mileage, you're getting that money back, because you won't need fixing, won't need servicing, won't need taxing, won't need congestion charging. So you'll be getting that money back in bits and pieces every week, every day, as it is now, which is quite nice. And whether it's all electric cars are expensive, probably too expensive, but whether it's the upper end electric car, say a Jaguar I-Pace, it's pretty inefficient, but they use, no exaggeration, they use twice as much power as say a Hyundai Kona or something like that. I mean, they are really inefficient, but they've got massive batteries, so that gives them quite a bit of range. That obviously would cost you money. You'll have trouble getting your money back on that, because they're very, very expensive, but very nice. But they do drive like an electric car. And what I'm saying is, they do drive quiet and smooth. The cheapest electric car or the most expensive electric car has got quite a bit of feel between them. I would say that if you're blindfolded and you had a ride in, say, what's a good value, a Kia Niro, because they ride. Yeah, I've been in one. It's quite nice. Kia Niro. That's got decent range, 250 miles. Probably better. It's probably got better range than the Jaguar I-Pace. Yeah, almost certainly it has, because even though it's got a much smaller battery, about 64 kilowatt battery in the Kia Niro and about 90 kilowatt battery in the Jaguar, because the Niro is so efficient, it probably goes further than the Jaguar. And if you're blindfolded and sat in either car, you probably wouldn't really know the difference. Smoothness and quietness, pretty similar. But of course, those top end ones, they've got 4-wheel drive, which is nice. 4-wheel drive in a electric car is quite a nice thing, because they're so torquey. A front-wheel drive electric car with all that torque is a bit wheel spinny. So the old traction control keeps popping in, especially if it's wet. This Tesla is just rear-wheel drive. All the weight's on the floor, and the traction on this is really good because it's rear-wheel drive. If this was front-wheel drive, I don't think it's even would be an option. The wheels will be spinning all the time. They'll be spinning on the bone dry road. It's just if you poke the throttle. This doesn't. This handle's really nice, very nice. It's quite simple when they make a 4-wheel drive electric car. Because all they do, this is without exaggeration, they pop another electric motor in the front. If this is the rear-wheel drive one, but the top of the range one is 4-wheel drive. All they do is put another motor in the front to drive the front wheels. Is add a motor, 2 motors, which is very nice, simple solution. Much simpler than a petrol or diesel car. We're using transfer boxes and drive shafts and propeller shafts and all sorts of gubbins and noise and whatever. Electric cars remain smooth and quiet. Yeah, people that have used hybrid cars, there's all sorts of hybrids, plug-in hybrids, self-charging, what a joke, hybrids, and they've all got different flavours. The only one I would entertain, and that came out quite a few years ago now, 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah, 5 years ago. Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV, PHEV. And that's quite nifty because it can drive on electric only. And that's the good bit. Trouble is, it's got a small battery, so it only goes about 20 miles on electric only. That's the bad bit. Because everybody likes, this is what converted a lot of people to pure electric cars, is everybody likes the electric bit. I mean, there's a cyclist in front of me now, and I just whizzed past. Now, it's not because I want to whiz past because I want to terrify the cyclist. I want to get past him and get out of the way. An electric car, you can get out of the way. It's safer. It's safer than dwelling on passing slower traffic or just parking in parked vehicles. It's nice just to whiz past. Oh, there's some new traffic lights. Yeah, so here we are, deadly silence. Stop. I've stopped. Car stopped. Peace. It's all deadly quiet. So quiet. Except for the guys digging up the road. Wonder what else. I don't know. Water mains, gas mains, electric. I don't know. Digging the road out anyway. Yeah, what's happening in politics today? Oh, you're all a bit released, a bit today, semi-released. We're going to have this COVID forevermore. Oh, I've had my injection, first one. Don't know when I get a second one because apparently we're getting a bit short now of stuff. We've got lots on order, but it's actually having them having it in stock. So we are a little bit short, but we've got more than most other countries because we got in first. I mean, what happened was the government had a bit of a gamble. So we'll order lots and lots of stuff. If it's useless or no good or it doesn't work or you won't use it, it's found to be faulty, we've just lost a few billion because the government we've got really aren't bothered about losing money. That's the weirdest thing. Just lose a few billion, no problem. So we ordered loads, and this gamble, unlike the other 27 gambles, has worked. The gambles worked. We got in first. We risked it for a biscuit, and it's worked. We got in first. So as far as the jab's concerned, it's a success. I had the old Astra one. Made me a bit, I think it does most people, because all the people I know have had it. You get a bit of flu symptoms, you get a bit of a sore arm, and I've had lots of injections, but I've never had any reaction. But I had a bit of reaction from this jab, but and my wife did, and people I know, have had reactions, but it's no big deal. Have it for a day, it goes away. Certainly better than having COVID. Unless you're young, of course, and then you just brush it off anyway. Could understand young people's reticence about getting the jab because they're not going to suffer from COVID anyway. They're probably thinking, well, why am I going to have a jab? What does it make to me? Let's talk about getting, they said, oh, we're never not going to do that. We're never going to do that. So it sounds like they're going to do it. They're going to have a vaccination passport, and you can't go certain places without your passport. And half the country again are saying, oh, no way, I'm not going to be told to have a passport. Well, you don't have to have a passport. Just, you can't go out and get a drink. I mean, it's the same thing in life, and then people say, oh, that's not fair. But life's not fair, is it? You can't do what you want to do. I mean, I'd like to buy this car and keep it because I love it, but I can't do that because I haven't got the money. So nobody can do what they want to do. There's no freedom. Freedom is your situation. If you've got a bank full of money, you're free to do lots of things. If you work in the government, apparently, you're free to break the law. There's lots of freedoms knocking about. it's all well, it's all levels, isn't it? I mean, a country, if you're born into a country where there's no food, what's your freedom? What's your freedom? You're born somewhere, you're born to die, aren't you, basically? And what fault is it of yours? You're just born to die because you're born in the wrong place, you're born at the wrong time, born to the wrong parents. Flip the coin and you're just the unlucky one. I mean, people like you and me, we're the middle ones, aren't we? We're born into, we're not hungry, we're not rich, but we get by. And there's a morbid satisfaction about seeing someone who is not so well off, because that's the way we grade our lives, don't we? If you've got one arm, you feel better than the guy with no arms. It's all in the level, it's all the way it is, isn't it? You can only compare one person with another person, and the grass is always greener. It's a nice day. They've painted up the roads, looking very painted up. Yeah, roads look nice. Someone's been out with the old Potter paint. Very smooth. I saw Formula One on Sunday. Well, I'm a Verstappen fan, so I was kind of disappointed. But it was close. So that's one good thing. At least it's going to be closer. It looks like it's going to be closer than it usually is, which is very good. Yeah, it's brilliant. It really is. Yeah, it's got to be a bit closer. It looks like they might have a full season. I mean, motor racing really isn't what it used to be, because it's too safe, isn't it? That's it. You know, the cars go really fast, but they're so safe. I know that's a horrible thing to say, but really and truly, that is part of motor racing. It's getting to the point where the cars might just as well be driven by remote control from the pits, like Scalextrics. Do away with the driver altogether. That'd be saving, wouldn't it? Do away with the driver and just have the cars going round by remote control. Well, the driver would be in the pits with the screen, driving the car around the track. Do away with the driver completely. Yeah, so much money in motor. Funny, certain sports, there's so much money in football and motor racing, American basketball, American football. And other sports, not so much. I saw snooker, and that was, well, either you watch a lot of some sports, either you watch it a lot. You can't just watch snooker for 5 minutes, because it's not that type of thing. It's a thing you've got to watch for hours, or you just don't get into it. So I watched a bit of snooker. And who won? Oh, Australian fellow. I couldn't have been that interested, I can't remember. And he beat O'Sullivan. Okay. Quite conclusively, really. So that's okay. I quite like darts, but that's... well, a lot of sports now are on Sky Sports. And I don't pay for Sky. I don't pay extra for Sky Sports. So if it's on Sky Sports, I don't see it. If it's motor racing, I just see the highlights. Highlights were on Channel 4, I think. That's where I watch the highlights. There are certain things that Sky I don't know, they're massive coverage, but massively expensive. I mean, people worry about paying a BBC TV licence, but Sky's much, much dearer for less stuff, much less stuff. So, but I find that Sky Sports have killed a lot of sports because of pay to view. Even if you've got Sky Sports, you can't watch certain things, like you can't watch a big boxing match. Now, to me, what that has done is killed the sport of boxing. Who's the boxing world champion? Don't know. Who's the lightweight, heavyweight, featherweight? Who's the world champion? I haven't got a clue, because boxing is not on a main channel which shows it all. I mean, who is one of the most famous people in sport ever? Muhammad Ali. That's when boxing was on all channels. And Henry Cooper. That's when boxing was on the regular channel. Now, less people know about boxing than they did in the old days. So Sky haven't really helped certain sports. Going down Banstead Road. Sun is still lovely. I've got the air conditioning off, heating off, everything's off, and my power usage, I'm using well, I'm doing over 4 miles, well over 4 miles per kilowatt power usage. And as my kilowatt, a kilowatt to me cost me 5p, I am driving really cheap. I'm almost at 1p a mile. That's not bad, is it? And that will improve. If the further you go, the figures will get better and better, because the start-off point is, well, like a petrol diesel car. When you first start it in the morning, figures aren't so good. Using a petrol diesel car for short journeys, terrible. They use shed loads when they're cold. They use loads to warm them up. Loads of pollution. So when you're, luckily we've come out winter now, when it's a winter morning and cars are parked in their driveways next door to you or in the road with the engines running to try and melt the ice and snow, and there's the person scraping the windscreen on their petrol and diesel car, I say, with the engine running, pouring out loads and loads of crap. This car's frosted up in the morning. I don't even go outside. I just, indoors with my phone, I turn the heater on. I don't even put down my cup of coffee. And the car warms up. And I go outside, and the car's toasty warm, and all the ice has gone off the windows, and I can look out at the other people polluting. Funny thing about pollution, isn't it? Because in town, cars are polluting. Petrol, diesel cars chucking out all sorts of rubbish. And yet in the car, you've got a particulate filter. So you're sitting in your petrol and diesel car pumping out all this crap, and it's poison. And there's mother walking along pushing a pushchair, and there's a diesel petrol car, a diesel petrol vehicle, pumping out poison into the face of that child in his pushchair. But the person sitting in that car, he's got his particulate filter. So he or she, their air is filtered. The car is filtering the air because it's such disgusting air. So it's been filtered for them, and you're the person poisoning the air. Sweet, eh? It's a good one. Yeah. Yeah, how nice of you. Poison baby, while I sit in my filtered air vehicle. But all is well. I just turn the radio up and I can't hear it. I can't hear the people coughing. I can't hear people wheezing with asthma because I'm sitting in my filtered car pumping out poison. I wonder why cars haven't got petrol diesel cars should be like cigarettes. They should come with a health warning, shouldn't they? They should have that picture on the paint on the outside of the car, like they have on cigarette packets of a diseased lung. That should be painted on cars, petrol diesel cars. A diseased lung should be painted. Should be painted on the side of the car. Especially the last couple of miles. It's a so nice sunny day. Hey, there goes. Now I turn the camera around. There's a Mitsubishi Outlander. I've got a lot of time for those, but if I did buy one of those, it'd have to be a cheap one, an old one, and they're complicated. That's the thing about electric cars as well. They're so simple. But the Mitsubishi Outlander, which does a lot of things an electric car does, but to do it, it also incorporates a petrol engine and certain complications of the drive system. And I can't help thinking, because I'll be buying an old one, I'll be buying into the old fossil failures. Fossil failures are like the exhaust system, brakes. Electric cars don't wear brakes really. Cam belts, oil, and antifreeze, and all the horrible stuff. Are they cars that leak all over the driveway? And they leak all over the road. I mean, fossil cars just don't pollute the air. They pollute everything. They pollute the road. You go into a petrol station, which I haven't done for over a year. All that stuff, it's all greasy and oily all over the floor, because that's what petrol diesel cars are. They're dirt. You get in the bonnet and they're dirt. Getting near home now. Yeah, what I'm really missing all this lockdown stuff is just going out for something to eat. I mean, I'm not a big going out person, but it's nice just to go out to eat a burger or steak or anything. Just go out without giving it a thought. And it's never going to be the same again, because there will be that thought of, is it going to be all right? Even when everyone's released and all joy to the world, it won't be the same. It won't feel the same. Just hearing someone, if you're in a restaurant, or we go out now, we're a bit free, and if we open to that extent, we go to a restaurant and sit down for a meal, someone at the table near you coughs. Be thinking, wouldn't you? Be thinking. It would make you think. I mean, even before COVID, it was someone coughing or sneezing near you was pretty disgusting. But now, it's disgusting with brass knobs on, isn't it? Or in front. A Volkswagen Passat E-Motion. A lot of these sort of hybrid type cars, it's all adding bits of electric power to fossil cars, which is just saying the electric power is a good bit. we're adding it to the crappy bit to make the crappy bit more efficient. Well, ultimately, and I've given this so much thought, I'm so sad, I'm a bit of a... is the electric car is the only one that's not copping out, isn't it? It's doing the whole job. It's doing the whole job. It's so simple, so smooth. Yeah, a little bleep there because it's a parked car is going behind it. It's I could say it's annoying. No, it's not annoying because it could help you a lot, you know. Because if you were distracted and the vehicle in front stopped and you're messing around like you shouldn't be doing, but you're messing around with your phone or whatever, or just generally dozing off, it's a good thing. It tells you. Right, see this van here, you can't see it. I'm going towards this van. There you go. It's telling me that if I'm not careful, I'm going to drive into a parked van. Very nice. It could save your life. An electric car, you can save everyone else's life as well. This is a nice thing, isn't it? Nearly home now. How long's this video? Quite long.